If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need in one place. In fact, this season of Millennial and Pregnant was produced and hosted on Anchor. Here's what I love about it. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. This made it easier for me to edit my episodes on the go. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hi, I'm Fatima.
I'm Brian, and you're listening to Millennial and Pregnant.
As we begin our journey through our first pregnancy, we wanted to share our experience. We pre-recorded episodes for this close-ended series. Spoiler alert, it ends with us having a baby.
And if you're looking to get pregnant, are pregnant, or just want to have a good laugh with us, then this podcast is for you.
We understand that every pregnancy is unique and has its own story. Here's ours.
So I can't believe we made it to 37 weeks, which is kind of crazy because 37 weeks ago, it was like, oh, you were thinking something totally different than what you're feeling now.
I know, it seems so far away when, you put into weeks and, now it's so close. I guess technically I'm full term.
Yeah.
Technically.
It's so weird. How have you been feeling?
I've been feeling good. So as I move on later into the third trimester, I've had swollen feet, like to the point where it's kind of difficult to walk swollen feet. So the only thing that really helps is just like putting it up, making sure I'm drinking plenty of water and my salt intake is lowered. But really
it's
just
closely being monitored by your husband.
Yes. Very closely monitored, more than I want him to, but really making sure I put it up.
Professional dietitian.
Because if I wake up with swollen feet, it's downhill from there. So making sure I'm doing that at night, which makes it a little more uncomfortable to sleep like that, but it pays off in the end.
Yeah, and we see them get swollen, and you put them up, and then they go down, and then they get swollen, and you put them up, and they go down. It's just an endless roller coaster for your poor feet.
Yep. Yeah. So shoes have been a struggle. None of them fit.
I know. I when I came home this morning from the gym, I didn't think we were going to do a podcast today, but I'm like, let's do a spontaneous podcast, because when I got home, you were like, I think my mucus plug came out today.
And that just sounds really gross. So for those people who don't know what that is, I'm not even sure I fully understand it. It's
like a thick loogie.
Pretty much. And it has some tint of, it's brownish or some tint of red in there from blood. And it's, it's not shredding, but you're opening or the plug in your cervix. And that prevents
bacteria from getting up there.
It's an early sign of that, impending labor, and it could be within hours to 2 weeks.
Yes.
2 to 3 weeks. So, if it's accompanied with more blood, obviously talk to your healthcare provider. This, it could be alarming, something that you would want to be rushed to the hospital for or something. But this was not too alarming, but it was like, oh, this is about to go down. This is about to happening. Although we were expecting it. That seems about right. 2 to 3 weeks is our expected due date. So.
Exactly, and it's kind of, when you put it in that perspective, like, oh, it could happen hours from now, it could happen days from now, it could happen weeks from now. It's kind of like those action movies where they're like, okay, we have 6 minutes to go steal the briefcase, and now it's like that countdown clock. Has started. Yeah, and you're like, whoa, it feels now it feels real.
Oh, it's
because it never felt real
before
until this point.
For me, it felt all too real. So yeah, it's just one of those many milestones or hurdles that we have overcome, or that we passed this morning. So we'll see.
I know what's going through your mind.
I don't yeah, I'm not as like, I was just like, oh, look at that. So that's something that they had mentioned was one of the signs that you're about to go into labor. I was just, I really wasn't fazed by it, surprisingly.
That's good.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah, I know. Brian, his face was like, huh? What? And I, of course, so I took a photo of it because I was like, I'm bad at explaining things. And if I once I go to my doctor, and then I have to show my doctor so he can confirm what it actually was. So I just showed him the photo. I'm like, it's not like I'm, hemorrhaging with, blood or anything like that. It's just, this is something that happened. Like, and, it's normal.
Mm-hmm. I know. Thank God for Pinterest, because I've been educating myself on.
Please don't let that be your
pregnancy.
only source of information.
Dr. Pinterest.
Yeah, no.
And knowing that when that happens, when the mucus plug comes out, it's like, okay, now it's like, this whole time we finally, another analogy, getting, on the roller coaster all the way up to the top. And I feel like the last trimester is where you're just kind of getting over that top bend right before you go down.
No, it's all downhill from there. Yeah.
This is like where now you're finally starting to head downhill, but they're still kind of, you have the back cars, which are still trying to come up, but you're in the very first car, so you're like kind of hanging forward, and that's what this feels like.
Yeah, I mean, I've never,
which is such a fun
never
feeling.
On a roller coaster have I been in the front of it.
Oh my gosh, my dad,
just because I didn't want to feel that. I didn't want to feel that feeling. Yeah, no.
I hate being in the front. I think I did the front on Superman at Six Flags up in Massachusetts. I would never do the front ever again. I absolutely hate it. I can't see where I'm going. I'd rather just look at the head in front of me. And I'm usually not looking in front of me because my eyes are closed.
I mean, being younger used to be like more fearless because you just didn't really think about what could possibly happen or go wrong. As I got older, I'm like, I hate roller coasters now. I'm like, what if this thing, just stops midway? So I used to be a huge fan. I probably was, not in the front of the roller coaster, but I didn't have any problems getting on them. Now, no, you have to bribe me. When we were at Universal, I refused to get on any of those, the big dueling dragons. And I know. Said no.
The one coaster I wanted to go on was the Hulk. And because I think the part of the roller coaster I hate the most is the whole anticipation when they kind of cranking you up to the top. With the Hulk, they crank you up a little bit, but then they shoot you right out, and I'd rather much that than the anticipation. It's instantly. They shoot you right out from the tube, and you kind of do like this cool little spin.
Which is nothing like pregnancy. It's like it's very slow process. So and now we're leading up to the, like you said, the final descent.
It's so exciting. Literally.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is there anything else we have to do?
I
don't think so.
I really don't think so. I think now it's just things that are just good things just to do, just like
continue to keep the house clean so that when we do have to leave, then we come back to a clean house.
Yeah, to make sure it's clean. I've probably been slacking a little bit more, but now that I know that it's around the corner. Yeah, I know. And my mom calls me and she's like, "You want me to come?" I'm like, I feel so bad.
Please.
I like cleaning. It clears my head, but there are some certain things that I shouldn't do.
No.
I know.
I've been doing it. I'm an average of a B cleaner.
No. You like I said.
But if I do it frequently enough, it looks clean.
I think we talked about it before. I'm like, he's been like this crazy person with his shower routine. So, and how he cleans the shower and all that other good stuff. So it's probably better than mine. So I'm never taking over the role of cleaning the shower again. He says, no, I'm not doing it.
Like 6 months, we'll talk about that. We'll reassess our chores.
We'll think. We'll talk. But also just like maintenance of myself, making sure everything is like, I'm like, oh God, like these feet look a little rough. So the other day I'm like, I gotta clip these toenails or treat myself to a mani-pedi or something.
Have you been thinking about that a lot more recently? Like, does today make you think, oh, okay, maybe I should?
Yeah, I know.
But who cares?
You do. Like when you're when I remember when I had when we did have to go to the hospital or, you know, to the doctors, and you have to take off your socks or your shoes, and you look at your feet and like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. You know, it's like those little things that you don't really think about. And I actually watched it, I think it was on some talk show, and they said, you know, oh yeah, some people, they go crazy with their hygiene and stuff. She's like, the one thing that my doctor friend or her doctor had said that people always forget is their feet. And ever since I heard that, I'm like, oh, that's so right. Because every time I go, like if I have to, you know, let's say summertime, and you go to doctor, you take off your shoes, get on the scale, and you look down and you're like, oh my God, like why didn't I do something about that? So doing that, figuring out, you know, making sure my hair is clean, that I'm clean. So just those little things, like just maintenance. My legs are shaved. Even though no one cares. I'm sure he's seen worse. But my legs can get pretty hairy. And so I wasn't really trying to bend down throughout the pregnancy. So, but now I'm trying to, however far I can get. I'm very patchy.
For you.
I'm very patchy, but they got the gist. It was an A for effort. So.
Yeah. Again, who cares? I know it makes you feel better.
Yeah. I think that's important too. It's like, yeah, who cares? But you have to feel good. I'm about to go through this major body change, and if I don't feel comfortable,
I want to look good.
Well, no, I just,
I know.
It's not even about looking good, but just feeling good. And
yeah,
these are the little things that are make me. I don't want nasty feet and hairy legs and non-washed hair and stuff like that when I'm at the hospital. And, you know, so
you gotta be Instagram ready.
Yeah, that's what is so important to me. I don't want any photos. No, thank you. This is strictly for my feelings.
For your feelings. What else is gonna make you feel better?
That's really it. I'm just chilling. Like there's nothing else that we need to do.
Yeah, that's really good. I think we're ready.
Yeah, as ready as we can be.
Okay, you're ready now. You can come out.
You can slow down right there. They will come when they want to come.
I know.
But, you know, we're ready at any point now.
Cool. Let's do this. Thanks for listening to another episode of Millennial and Pregnant.
Since you made it this far, share our series with a friend.
To follow our journey in real time, head over to liliesandloafers.com.